Hello everyone, welcome to a new video. Today I'm going to be showing you how I like to start a new sketchbook. If you're someone who is frightened by that big white front page, let's get into it. So I've started a new sketchbook. So this is the type of sketchbook I have. It's a Kunst and Papier. Forgive me, I don't know how to pronounce it. Sketchbook. It's 100 GSM and there are 176 pages. It's 21 by 21 centimeters, so it's a square, which is new for me. I usually go for A5 size sketchbooks. Yeah, I saw this one in a shop when I was visiting Sydney and I was like, I like it. I'm gonna go for it. Let's see what happens. So one thing that scares me when starting a new sketchbook is not even just the first page inside it, it's the actual cover. And what I like to do is either put stickers all over the cover, do some scribbles, let my sketchbook rest on some drying paint, or put my cup of tea on the cover. I just like to give it a little bit of a lived look. And so what I'm going to do with this sketchbook is I'm going to paint some colourful blobs all over it. Why not? This is something that I've been doing a lot inside my sketchbook the last year, and I thought it would be perfect. I'll just do it on the front cover. I like the way it looked. I was enjoying this color palette. Love a good yellow, green and pink story. I think it looks really cute. I think it looks really fun. I actually gave it a lick of varnish as well, just in case. So I let that dry for a few hours before I moved on. Now, this is the first page of my sketchbook. It's not literally, well, it's literally the first page, but it's like the inside cover and the first page. So I'm gonna go and do my guilty pleasure thing and splash some colors around. And yellows and those like acid yellowy chartreuse greens are really giving me a lot of pleasure at the moment. So I went with those for the front page. I just brushed on a bunch of random scribbles in paint and tried to keep it kind of wild and not thought through. Just let my hand move faster than my brain moved. And what I'm doing is I'm including a part of it that says, if lost, please call. And then I'll have my name and my phone number, because once I did lose my sketchbook, and lucky I had my phone number in the front cover because someone found it and they rang me and I was able to retrieve my sketchbook, which was amazing because, I mean, my sketchbooks are my everything and the thought of losing one breaks my heart entirely. So from now on, every single sketchbook that I do, I put my contact details in the front. But yeah, I like to just doodle in my front page. A lot of little scribbles and motifs that I've been playing with a lot lately. So they're kind of really comforting. I know how to draw them. I know how to draw them well and to make it look good, but still kind of scribbly and loose at the same time. I'm not really putting too much thought into it. I've got some trashy YouTube video on in the background, probably true crime. And just playing, just making lines, making colors, doing scribbles and having a fun time. Also love to put stickers inside my sketchbook and on the outside of the sketchbook. As I am making the sketchbook, I collect stickers and I will pop them on the front cover here and there. Yeah, I think it's fun. It's a good way to make the cover look fun and exciting. Another really good thing to do on your front page is to swatch your favorite art medium. So for me, it's the acrylic gouaches, which I have been using so much lately. I thought, I bring my sketchbook with me everywhere, even to the art supply store. So if I had all the swatches with me, I won't be silly and double up and buy all the same colors over and over again, because sometimes I can be like, oh, that's a pretty color, I need that color, and I get home and I've already got 2 of them. So I did some little swatches on my front page. I'm not the kind of person that likes to neatly rule things out and make it all perfectly nice and all that kind of stuff. I wish I was, because I love that aesthetic, but I just have never been able to do that. So for me, it's just a kind of quick circle brush thing and then the name underneath each color swatch. And as time goes on, you'll fill that page up more and more with the more paints you buy. Another way you can fill up a sketchbook page or start your sketchbook is by experimenting with multimedia things. So I was gifted this PHOMemo label maker and they asked me to try it out, post it on the YouTube and talk about it, I guess. I mean, they didn't really say that. They just said, can you try it out? So here I am trying it out. I like it. It's cute. I got this cute orange one. And making labels is always fun, but I thought, how can I integrate this into a sketchbook thing? How can I play with this in my sketchbook? So I thought I would do some sort of a collage thing, but that wasn't really working out for me in my brain. So I was just like, I'm just going to print some random stuff and place them around the page and then draw around it. And I really wanted to print out some photos and do a scrapbook look, but it really doesn't like photos. It just looks like a bunch of pepper on a page, to be honest. So I don't know. I think it works really well for text and more graphic black line work stuff. You can see I tried it with a couple of little illustrations here, but I just really wanted the photos to work for me. So disappointingly, it doesn't like photos. It doesn't like printing photos. They don't turn out very nicely. But I think for label printer purposes, like writing addresses and stuff, I think it would be perfect. I've already got a label printer for that purpose, which does much bigger labels. And I just really wanted this one to be good for photos so I could stick them in my sketchbook here and there. I thought it would be a fun way to, when I'm out and about, take a photo of something I have an idea with, or I'm inspired by, maybe a flower I see on a walk or something, and be able to come home and print it on the PHOMemo printer and stick it in my sketchbook to look at and to be inspired by and to make the pages look cute and fill up little gaps. But I'm not sure if I will really use it again for sketchbook purposes. I'll probably just use it for packaging for my shop order stuff, to write little cute thank you notes on the envelopes and that sort of thing. Yeah, so it was an experiment, and that's what sketchbooks are about. They're about experimenting. I just wanted to show you me experimenting with something new, something that a company gave to me for free. So I kind of see it as a little bit of a fail, but I think I kind of made it work nicely with the way the sketchbook page ended up being. I sort of copied the motif of the rectangles, the shape of the actual stickers, and kind of filled up the page with my own illustrated stickers, I guess you could say. It ended up being a fun page. It's not my favorite page in the world, but fun to experiment. On the next page, I spent some time designing my Patreon reward print for November. These are the little thumbnail sketches that I did for that. I will put the finished one here and the sticker as well. And then on the page beside it, I was like, I'm going to do some more sticker design. So another thing that I like to do in my sketchbooks is to create like thumbnail drawings for products that I am dreaming up. So for this one, I am dreaming up a new line of stickers, which I'm not sure if I'll actually do, but it's also just fun to design things without really feeling like you need to make them happen. You know what I mean? Like, making products is expensive. Sometimes just making them and figuring them out in your sketchbook is a nice way to get the feeling out of you. Sometimes it makes you be like, oh, I really want to do that now. So this page I made for my patrons. Actually, once a month we do an art prompt day. So I wanted to do an art prompt of random blobby shapes like this. And then what you do is you take those random blobby shapes and you be inspired by them. You don't have to necessarily use the shape of the blob to create your artwork, but to use them as like a little home for your drawing. So what I did here is I filled a page with, I don't know, 15 or so blobs, all in different colors. And I actually used up the paint that I had lying around from another artwork that I had finished just earlier that afternoon. And once it dried, I took my little fine liner that I've been loving lately, and in each blob I drew. And it's sort of stream of conscious style drawing, but I included a bunch of motifs that I have been doing in the last couple of months. So a lot of shooting stars and sparkling little twinkly stars and that sort of thing. And my usual go-to sleepy, curvy-bodied people hugging things. So yeah, that was an art prompt that I did for my patrons. I thought I would include it here. I don't usually include my Patreon content on YouTube, but I thought I would give you a taste of Art Prompt Day. This is it. And yeah, it's really fun. Really fun. We do all sorts of art prompts over there. And I think filling a page with colourful blobs like this is acrylic gouache, by the way, it makes the page look nice already before you even started drawing on it. And sometimes the nice colours can distract. If you end up drawing something that you're not proud of, it can distract from the drawing that you don't like, because the page already looks nice because of the nice colours all over the page. Does that make sense? So I think that's a big reason why I like to fill my page with big splashy colours, is because the page already looks great because it's got lots of colours on it. And whatever I draw on top will either add to it, like make the page look better, or just be there. And that is fine. It can be there if it wants to be there. i.e., I don't like the drawing. But usually when the page is filled with nice colours, it makes me draw better in a way. It makes me be more free and silly and scribbly with my ideas and my drawing. It makes me less afraid to make mistakes. Do you know what I mean? Because there is already a bunch of scribbles on the page. So highly recommend, when drawing in your sketchbook, when starting a sketchbook, scribble wildly and recklessly with color, with paint, with pencils, with ink, with crayons, I don't know, whatever you have, and just like draw over the top of it, layer your drawings and not be precious with them. That's a good way to not be afraid of your drawings. Oh, another fun way to fill a sketchbook page is to do studies, either landscape studies or photos that you've taken yourself, ones that you've found online for free of copyright. Be careful of that. And what I'm doing here are random film stills. So each week my patrons and I get together and we do art prompt day, and usually we take turns in facilitating photos that we had taken, and we use those as little references. So over an hour, we'll spend 5 times 5 minutes, and then a 7-minute drawing, and then a 10-minute drawing, usually, and draw each other's photos, which is really fun. This one, which is a nice one, if you're not confident with your own photos or friends' photos or anything like this day we did film still studies. So all these drawings that you're seeing here, the first one was a 1-minute drawing, and then the rest have been 5-minute drawings. We just randomly generated a couple of film stills, and then we got onto the Studio Ghibli bandwagon and just did some Studio Ghibli film stills in 5 minutes. And I used ink. And I really was not liking the way the sketchbook page was drinking up the ink. So I moved on to playing with my Neo colors on an already pre-blobinated page. Like I said before, it just makes it fun. It also, going back to the pre-blobbing, it creates challenges in your sketchbook that you have to figure out how to make work, which is really fun, which is really good for the brain. So you can see that the sky in this drawing that I'm currently doing now is meant to be blue, but I've got a big orange blob right in the middle of it. So I was trying to figure out how to get rid of that. Luckily the Neo colors are so thick that you can barely tell, and I kind of like how it shines through. But yes, I highly recommend doing a random film still generator, or just like flicking through your favorite film and randomly stopping at a spot and giving yourself 5 minutes to draw that still with whatever mediums you have around you. It's really fun, and sometimes it can turn out terribly, and that is a learning experience. And then some of them come out really cool, especially if you give yourself a really tight time limit, like 5 minutes. You kind of have to learn how to get down what you can. It's almost like writing a story with as little words as possible, like turning it into a poem, turning a whole story into a poem. Maybe that's what I'm trying to say. Trying to be economical with your lines, so you want to get as much detail as you can without really fixating on too much detail because you only have 5 minutes. Do I make sense with what I'm saying? Yeah, it's a really fun way to get speedy, get scribbly, and be economical with your mark making. Studio Ghibli films and backgrounds, perfect for this. The last thing I'm going to show you is to reference your old material, reference your old sketchbook drawings. Go back into your older sketchbooks and look for those ideas. I mean, it's okay to go back and use your own ideas that you may have previously abandoned or you want to develop further and play with it. So I was feeling like I haven't really drawn butterflies before. I did an artwork of butterflies this month for my calendar design, and I had so much fun drawing a butterfly, and I thought there are so many billions of ways you can draw a butterfly. So I'm just going to sit here, I'm going to fill an entire spread with one big fat giant butterfly, and I'm going to be extra scribbly. I'm going to be loose, and I'm going to have a good fun time. I put on a podcast and I just drew for, 40 minutes, I think it was, and scribbled and filled in pretty much the entire page. I used acrylic gouache as a base to smack down my colourful blobbies, And then once that had dried, I had used a mixture of Prismacolor pencils and some fine liner black ink kind of stuff. And yeah, I really did not sketch it out too much. I just it was just a stream of consciousness style drawing, which I really like to do a lot. I'm not someone who really heavily plans. I actually went into this drawing day thinking I'm going to plan my Patreon design, rewards design for next month now, so I'm ahead. Because I've got a busy month next month. I thought I would get ahead and I'll do that. And then I just completely forgot what I was doing and just drew a giant butterfly instead. So I guess I'm saying I'm not the kind of person that plans. So if you're the kind of person who doesn't like to plan, maybe you'll get something out of this. If you're someone who likes planning, hopefully you'll also get something out of this. But it might make you a little bit uncomfortable sometimes. I'm not sure. But just enjoy the scribbling anyway. Just seriously, scribbling is the best way to fill up sketchbook pages. And it feels so good to just let go and be relaxed and be silly and not be afraid of what you're making. And yeah, that's it. You made it to the end of the video. Hello. I hope you got a little something out of this. These are just my little ways I like to start a sketchbook or fill the sketchbook page. Hopefully you learnt a trick or two. So far, thoughts on this sketchbook. It's a great size. I love the size. I love that it's square and when it opens up it's huge. I like being extra scribbly and colory. Great words there with it. Yeah, just I really do like the size and going beyond the A5, my usual size. I'm not the hottest on the paper. It's a little too soft for me. The inks also just fully absorbed inside it. It just drank too much of the ink up and I didn't like it. And the color pencil, it goes on okay, but it is, yeah, it's just got, it's so hard to notice. Like I feel like most people wouldn't really notice, but it just had a little bit of sponge to it so that the pencil wasn't as sharp as I wanted it to be. And I feel like after some time it would, I don't know if you know what I mean, but sometimes sketchbooks when you draw with pencil, particularly like a grey lead pencil, it sort of just becomes like a little bit fluffy over time. Do you know what I mean? So I'm afraid that that's what's going to happen with this paper, but I won't know until the future. We'll see what happens. But overall, it's pretty cool. It's obviously not made for wet media and that sort of like really wet media. Like I use a lot of water. It's been really nice for the gouache. Great big thank you to my patrons. I always want to just spend a minute to say thank you to them, and without you guys I wouldn't be able to be as artisty as I am. So thank you. Thank you for being here. Leave a like and subscribe if you enjoyed this video, and let me know what are your tips and tricks on how you like to start a sketchbook page. If you are really into sketchbook stuff, go have a look at my other sketchbook videos. Okay, see you next time. Bye. Okay, bye.